the entire projection process drops away. You may still watch the projection, but you are not affected by anything. You become the sky, and all your problems and the world moves like clouds. And you can blend with a sky and drop few tears, or blend with another sky that is shining, and blend with another sky that is dancing. You can go on doing all that, but you are the sky. That's state of liberation. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Bandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tatvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adorations to Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasistha Samprakarana, and presently in section 26. King Bali invoked his guru Shukracharya, and Shukracharya is giving spiritual teachings to King Bali, who has developed profound dispassion. The storyline we have already given you. All stories they are not historical facts, but more than facts. The historical facts stay in books. But spiritual teachings brought into stories, those stories, they have their dynamic value all the time. You can study Ramayana all the time. You can always think of Ravana having 10 heads. But behind all that is not the history. To understand, every soul faces a whole process of Ramayana, Mahabharata, Om Namah Shivaya. All the scriptures that you read out there, you're waiting to work it out. Rama within you has to shine. Krishna within you has to kill Kansa. Buddha within you has to keep you from being Buddhu. The self in you has to shine. That self alone exists. That's the reality, absolute. So the teaching is at the very advanced level. Led by ignorance, the self becomes identified with the projected illusions of the mind. This is the cause of bondage. But in reality, how can the all-pervading sky be attached to the passing clouds? All experiences for any soul are based on mind. If you didn't have mind, everything moves away. Illustration, your sleep. You go to sleep, unmind the mind. Put the ego under your bed like a slipper. And what happened to this vast world? Immense past, immense future. What happened to all geology? Stars. Millions of light years. And all the story of that fascinates the whole universe. What happens to all that? And even though all this moves away from you, you don't even have a slightest grudge about it. Why did I lose all this? You don't have a slightest sense of missing. Rather, if you didn't sleep, you miss. If this is to be understood by a very clear mind, then you have to focus on who am I? If I can stay quiet completely, without the operations of the mind, and that is real I. The I that is being received through the conditioned mind, that I is aham inemeham. That sun is aham. But when you look at reflected suns, they are in mayhem, which means they are in trouble. Every reflected sun is in a trouble. Countless of them. So, understanding this point, that all your experiences in three planes, experiences relating to your intellect and ego, your understanding, your egoistic affirmation, and all intellect, ego is your head. And then all your experiences that express through your heart, through your feelings, through your sentiments, and all your experiences that are in the physical plane, practical reality. They are described as bhur, bhuva, swa. Bhur, the practical reality. Bhuva, all feeling aspect. Swa, all that your head brings out, intellect and ego. Put all the three, make a khichdi. And that's what everyone is. Another way of saying Triputi. Every Sanskrit word has different ways. All the three is a three. And one who rules over all the three is Tirupati. The real you is Tirupati. Led by ignorance, you are now roaming or caught in the three lokas, three planes. But all your experiences in the three planes, they are not realities. They are created by projection. Just like you watch a cinema show. Everything that you are seeing on the screen, firstly, you don't think of the screen at all. But now you are involved in a whole story of past, present, future, and countless details But all the details that you see on the screen, they are sustained by the screen. Put it another way, all that you see is light being refracted through film negatives. Light in itself doesn't undergo any problem. The same light refracting through an artistic plan on the screen becomes Ravana, a demon, a vampire, or a great sage. The story of a demon, or story of a sage, a story of many things. What is behind all that? Source is light. Everyone feels delighted or not delighted by the story. But ask the light, are you delighted? That light is what you are. Your soul is that light being interpreted through projections of the mind. And behind the projections, the soul is light of lights. It's the light of the self that is operating through all human experiences. But all experiences are mental projections. And mind is not a reality. A cloud is not a reality. And its moisture and cloud has no texture. How can pure consciousness be trapped in the passing illusions of mental projections? You can see countless reflected suns struggling, but the mature mind can understand how can sun struggle. But ask a kid, yes, it does struggle. Figure that out. Develop an unceasing flow of spiritual affirmation. I am not this body, but I am the self. Thus, you are bound to attain self-realization. This is a very advanced stage. When the mind has gone through all the listening, reflection, meditation, and has overcome doubting state, the state of impossibility, the state of perverted vision, it's called sanshaya bhavana, asambhavana, viparita bhavana. When that, all this has been accomplished by an aspirant, the aspirant realizes, I'm not this reflected sun moving from jar to jar or pot to pot. I am the absolute. But you have to allow all this sadhana has to enter. Your mind has to be treated with listening, shravana. Listening removes the doubting aspect of your mind. But listening has to be well understood. It should not be just putting together various ideas and storing it in a corner of your mind. It has to be reflected upon. And you have to deeply understand its value and allow the value of your thought to improve the purposeful existence of your personality. So your listening has to have a deep implication. All that comes sahaj. If you become deeply interested, automatically, it's like you are expert in delicious foods. So when you listen about some delicacy, you not only just keep the recipe in your head, you go into it, taste it, enjoy. Similarly, this is spiritual food. Listening is a kind of taking spiritual food, and it has to be well assimilated. It shouldn't be just stored in your refrigerator. So listening, reflection, meditation, all that. Prepare the mind to bring about revelation of the self. Through that mind that has been well prepared, that mind, what happens? It happens Mano, Nash. Mind appears to exist as a mind. But what is revealed through that mind, that's the absolute truth. So through that type of mind, discover the mystic fact that you are not the ego self, whirling with mental thought waves, but you are the absolute self, wherein the mind, along with its projections, are drowned and dissolved. Here at this stage, try to understand two stages. One stage, you are watching the show. All the show exists as long as projection goes on. Projection-based show, that's called bhava pratyaya. And dropping off the projection itself, bringing about effacement of projection. Delete the projection. It's not late. That's called pratyaya bhav. The pratyaya bhav is your goal. And that has to be understood with a subtle insight. Your goal is not to improve, go on improving in a world of time and space. That's practical reality, and you do so because you have no other choice. But don't stay confined to the idea that if you have made yourself comfortable, prosperous, happy, and that goal is reached. That's not so. The world cannot give you that. That's an impossibility. So therefore, not to be deluded by gain and loss, prosperity and adversity. Now your goal is moving away, transcending all projections that give you the illusion of prosperity, adversity. And this illusion is studied by your karma. Karma improves bhav pratyaya. But when karma becomes completely transcended by devotion and wisdom, I am not the doer, then the entire projection process drops away. You may still watch the projection, but you are not affected by anything. You become the sky, and all your problems and the world moves like clouds. And you can blend with a sky and drop few tears, or blend with another sky that is shining, and blend with another sky that is dancing. You can go on doing all that, but you are the sky. That's state of liberation. Thus saying, sage Shukracharya vanished before King Bali and proceeded to the world of gods. So that's all the Guru gave the teachings. Section 27. Now King Bali himself begins to practice vichar, profound reflection, and what Vedanta calls nididhyasan, is a vichar-based profound meditation. Meditation that makes you aware, goes on making you aware of who am I. King Bali reflected within himself, my divine preceptor has truly said that the three worlds are nothing but pure consciousness. Now, this is how we have listened, and he is practicing reflection. Three worlds I have already explained: physical reality, sentimental reality, thoughtful reality. All this is play of awareness. Awareness is the common denominator behind all this. That awareness is what you are. But due to ignorance, predicament has changed. Strange predicament. Instead of the joy, I am the sun, a state of immense envy in a pot of water. Joy bachens envy. I am pure consciousness. The objects are pure consciousness. The activities of the world are pure consciousness. Pure consciousness permeates all that exists in this world. Figure that out. For very easy understanding, in your dream, you have the same replica of the same world. And everything in your dream is your own consciousness. There's not a table, chair, not a bed, nothing. Not even a single stick or a grass. All that you have experienced and go on experiencing is the magic of your consciousness. So if you have mature vision while you are dreaming, you will be amused. And it's not a difficult thing to understand. Some people do get that idea, it is a dream, even while they're dreaming. The moment that idea enters, dream becomes fun. No matter how things are in your dream, your heart becomes free. So, this is a great utterance in the Vedas. Prajnanam Brahma. Brahman is pure awareness. And it is this great utterance that is awakened by Guru to disciple, by the next utterance called Thou art that, Tvam asi. Thou art that. And you begin to figure out how can it be possible. Thou means God who has created this whole world. Now I'm talking about that which has created the entire world. And that is thou. You shaking in a little pot of water. You are that. You have to overcome the illusion of pot, water, and reflection to understand the word thou. You have to also remove the illusion of sun reflecting in a cloud, because God is like a profound, majestic light. Even that concept, and even the idea God is up there, sun looks like this. Even the concept of Ishvara is Brahman plus Maya and Brahman reflecting in Maya. Put like a mathematics. And Jiva is described as Brahman plus avidya, ignorance, plus Brahman reflecting in ignorance. Maya and ignorance both are sisters, twins. And they are illusions. Move these two away, then Aham Brahmasmi. So the third great utterance becomes understood by you. And then when Aham Brahmasmi becomes highlighted in your personality, you allow yourself to be free of mala, vikshepa, avarana. You allow yourself to experience purification of impurities, anger, greed, etc. You begin to control. And begin to control, and you bring about, when mind becomes free from malas, it's called Mano, Nash. If mind does not go on creating a basis for anger, hate, greed, but a mind just remains a channel for you to go on progressing towards God, then it's called Mano, Nash. Apparently, it shows its love and hate, but its love and hate is just like ripples. It is not affected by it. Next stage called Vasana Kshaya. You have the same set of your mind that holds subtle desires, subtle impressions. But now all those impressions have become transformed. They are not ordinary. It's like dark clouds that were obscuring the sun. Now the dark cloud has become fleecy cloud, like a soft cotton spread out. You don't like cotton? Silk. When that has happened, it is not obstructing the light of the sun. The glory of God is not obstructed by that vasana, called vasana kshaya. And finally, Tvam is tattva jnana. Your ignorance drops away and you have enlightenment. So all the three processes go on in a progressive manner. Without telling you, that's what is happening. When you eat, your liver, your stomach don't talk to you. All happens automatic, as long as you are in a healthy set. So once you are doing your sadhana in a profound way, You don't go on calculating. Things begin to happen in a sahaj, spontaneous manner. But when you start describing it, then you have to go through details. And the details are necessary. There's jnana yajna. And so finally the aspirant comes to say, Aham Brahma. Reminding you, Prajnanam Brahma, consciousness. Brahman is pure consciousness. Second, Tattvamasi. You are that Brahman essential. Then you begin to practice it. Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. And end up, I am Atma Brahman. This Atma, the innermost self, the I am, is Brahman. Illumined by the ever-risen sun of pure consciousness, objects maintain their properties. Water wets, fire burns, wind blows, and every object maintains its existence. What's implied is that every object that you are experiencing, the reality behind every object is Brahman. To give you in a simple way to understand, when you turn your attention to anything in this world, it has 5 factors. Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda means existence, consciousness, joy. It's easy to understand in relation to living souls. Every soul wants to exist. Every soul wants to know everything about. Even a roach wants to know. Where we are keeping your tasty thing. Everyone wants to be happy. Satchit Ananda is the essential instinct in all. But that Satchit Ananda has become mixed up and veiled by projections of the mind, called name and form. Names are mental concepts. And form is a physical, just like you buy a house and you have taken a picture is the form. But in your inner mind, this house is mine. A name behind. And therefore, you have a mental evaluation. I'm much greater now, much better, and so many successful, and so forth. Mental projection, remove mental projection from any situation or any type of experience. This again is allegorical statement. If you do so, what is left is only Satchidananda. Brahman. Brahman is the reality behind all. Let's put it another way in the scriptures. What's the light of lights? Upanishad presents it in a highly allegorical manner. Who is the seer? Who is the experiencer? And first answer comes when you just follow the question, what is the light? Light of all lights. First light is your senses. Second light is your mind. If mind is not handling the senses, senses will not give you experiences. If senses are not there, the world experience will not be possible. So the senses are the light. Light behind the senses is the mind. Mind itself, if intellect does not guide your mind, they are mentally deranged. And the light behind the intellect, now you are going into cosmic level. So ultimately, the knower within, the seer within, the enjoyer within is light of lights. And Kathopanishad brings it out. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidyito bhanti, kuto yam agni, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. This is sung in Arati. Na tatra suryo bhati. In Brahman, is not illumined by the sun. Nor are there moon and stars. Not even the lightning flashes. Fire cannot illumine Brahman. When Brahman shines, it is his shine that goes into the sun, into the moon, into the stars, into the lightning flashes, and into your fire. So that is Brahman, that is adored by all. Each time people do arati in all temples of India. And that is Brahman in every individual, light of lights. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Where is God? God is light. Be delighted. To go into the search, light of light. And the Gita presents Jyotisham apita jyoti tamasah paramuchyate. Jnanam jneyam jnanagamyam Hirdi sarvasya vishtitam. That Atma, the self, Brahman, is light of lights, beyond darkness. And that light expresses itself, that Brahman expresses in the form of jnana. Jnana means all virtuous qualities that enable you to follow the path leading to liberation. They are all called jnana in this context. Jnaya is that light, light of light. And jnana, that which allows you to come closer and closer to the goal. In other words, all the three terms are nothing but that light. Jyotisham apita jyoti. That light within your heart has gone into three directions. Jnanam, jneyam, jnanagamyam. In order to attain that, in simple terms, develop divine qualities. If they are developing, you are on the path of jnana. Now, your mind begins to work upon, who am I? What is to be known in this world? What is substantial? Should I just go on knowing every little thing? And knowing which all is known, that's substantial, and that's Brahman, Jnaya. And then Once you know Jnanagamyam, as if you have come to know and you jump into the objects that you wanted to know. This allegorical way. You don't jump at all, you realize I am that, a revelation. As if by jnana you have entered Brahman. You don't enter, it's a revelation of Brahman. All the three come by the light of Brahman. So if you are practicing light, follow all these points. And light up your heart, be delighted. The senses, body, mind, the desires of the mind, all these are nothing but pure consciousness. Internally and externally, all this is permeated by pure consciousness. All enjoyments occur like waves in the ocean of pure consciousness. They do not take place in the body. This material body cannot be the knower or the enjoyer of the world process. Your hand touches, hand doesn't know it. You can say, oh, but that I know it. But with this eye that you know it is your mind. And mind itself will not know anything unless your brain is effective. So the brain is creating an illusion about your perception. So if you go on pursuing that way, whatever you are touching, whatever you are experiencing, all are nothing but pure consciousness in essential way. This body, which exists like a rock or clod of earth, has nothing to do with me, who am pure consciousness. You have to understand your body is an instrument through which you are operating. Otherwise, there is nothing to be proud of. It's a strange creature body. I am pure consciousness behind the vast sky. You see in your mind sky, sense of great expansion. But that expansion is not really out of you. That's an operation within your mind. Just like you see in your iPads, so many things suddenly coming out. Wonderful peacock starts dancing, but not a single feather can you find from it. So, such is the mystery of magic of mind operating through human brain. While living your life with all needed attention and facing reality, the central point, who am I, should not be ignored. And in order to be sure that you are pursuing the central point, love of God must develop in your heart. If your heart is working only from the point of view of finding something intellectually, if your heart is not involved, you will not succeed. So, jnana, unless it is sweetened by bhakti, jnana is a waffle, bhakti is syrup. If jnana is not sweetened by bhakti, then jnana is not jnana. It's only verbal, palabra. If you know that you are Brahman, and you have not a trace of joy in your personality, and you know all is Brahman, it doesn't mean anything. So you are far out. It's not realization I am Brahman. No matter how much you may mentally develop that type of bully aspect of understanding. But if bhakti is there, if your heart begins to bring out sense of divine love, so aroma begins to express through your heart of compassion, goodwill, humility, and all great qualities. All that again become possible. Some simple term, love of God. Godward movement becomes so loving that you begin to see all personalities as channels of God. Every situation is being presented by God. And especially when you are dealing with human beings or animals, birds, you are in a special connection with God. So that Godward touch, recognized in all relations, also in your prayers, whenever you do prayer, you don't pray just for yourself or for your close relatives. You pray for the entire world. But while I'm saying that, don't get distracted. All that is needed, your heart should keep a window open. When you pray and do your puja and do all these incense, etc., keep a window open so that others also can enjoy. So whatever prayer you are doing, led by your own problem, etc., no matter whatever it is, bring a little room in your heart that may all enjoy. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Then your prayer becomes profound because it touches God. And with this I conclude. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.